Greetings. In this video, we are going to discuss another topic in the subject of science, and it is related to elements. So, before that, let us discuss a few questions. So, here are the few questions on the screen. Do we see order in a certain library? So, you must have visited or seen a library. In a library, you have books kept in a certain order, and among the numerous books the librarian can figure out where a certain book is immediately, because the librarian knows the order in which the books are kept. Another example is your mother must be keeping all the stuff in the kitchen in a certain order. So there is a certain order in the stuff. There are a lot of stuffs in a typical kitchen. So is there any pattern? Perhaps there are patterns also. Some big stuff are kept down. Cereals are kept in a certain row. Then spices are kept in a certain row, and so on. So rice and wheat and so on. So all materials are kept in a certain order. So if there are numerous elements in nature, so if there are numerous elements, they can be arranged also in a certain order, can't they? So this question was addressed by a scientist called Mendeleev. Mendeleev tried to arrange the elements occurring in nature in a certain order, and he kept he arranged all the elements in a certain order. There is a certain pattern in this arrangement. This arrangement is called periodic table, and our topic for today is going to be the classification of periodic table. Periodic table, classification of the elements. So the arranging of elements into different groups on the basis of the similarities in their properties is called classification of elements. So what the scientist did is he arranged all the similar properties elements, that is to say elements having the same properties or similar properties, in a certain group, and from there he began. The classification of similar elements into groups makes the study of elements easier. There are about 114 different elements known so far. So as of now we know 114 elements. Of course this number gradually increased. In the beginning we knew only a few handful of elements, and as the research increased in the field of chemistry, this number rose to 114, and as of now we know 114 different elements. Early attempts at classification of elements. The earliest attempt to classify elements was grouping the known elements into two groups called metals and non-metals. The defect in this classification was that it had no place for metalloids, which were discovered later. So in the beginning there were only two categories. One is metals, the other is non-metals, and such was the grouping or the categorization of elements. But later another class of elements was found, which were called metalloids, and there was no place for metalloids in this table because metalloids were discovered later. Daubernier triads. Daubernier classified elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses into groups of three elements called triads. So basically speaking, he created groups of three elements having similar properties. So in the table below you can see there are three groups of three elements. So you have lithium, sodium, potassium as group 1, and calcium, strontium, barium as group another group, and so on. In each triad, the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to the average atomic mass of the other two elements. So atomic mass of the middle element was equal to the average atomic mass of the other two. So consider the first team, lithium, sodium, potassium. Here the atomic mass of sodium, which is 23, is the average of atomic mass of lithium and potassium. So lithium has 6.9 atomic mass, potassium has 39.0 atomic mass. So if you take the average of these two numbers, it will turn out to be roughly 22.95, which is almost 23. The defect in this classification was that all the then known elements could not be correctly arranged into triads. So not all elements could be classified or grouped into a team of 3 elements. So that was a fault. So some elements were were able to be categorized into teams of 3, but there were other elements which could not. So that was a drawback. Newland's law of octaves. So there was another scientist who worked in the same direction of arranging the elements in a certain order. John Newland, an English scientist, arranged the known elements in the order of increasing atomic masses and called it the law of octaves. It is known as Newland's law of octaves. So what is an octave? Octave is something that you find in music. So you must have heard about sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. That is an octave. In English it is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So from C to the next higher C, you have 7 notes: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So including the C, you have 8 notes. So all these 8 notes comprise something called octaves. So what this Newland's law of octave tells us is that elements can be arranged in a group of 7 or 8, and they are like the octaves. So one octave is like one group, another octave is like another group, and so on. So characteristics of Newland's law of octaves: it contained the elements from hydrogen to thorium. Properties of every 8th element were similar to that of the first element. So like an octave. So the first note in an octave is C, and the last note is also C. First note is Sa and the last note is also Sa. So over here in this table, the first element has the similar properties compared to the last element. So first and the last element have similar properties like an octave. That is why the name comes, law of octaves. Properties of every 8th element are similar to that of the first element. This is what we just discussed. So here you see 3, 4, you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. So this is a table which shows the grouping in the form of octaves. So this is, I guess one row is missing over here. Anyway, so limitation of Newland's law. So there were some limitations to this law as well. Let us discuss them one by one. The law was applicable to elements up to calcium only. So above calcium, this law couldn't be found suitable. It contained only 56 elements. Further, it was assumed by Newlands that only 56 elements existed in nature, and no more elements would be discovered in the future. So Newlands assumed that only 56 elements existed, and as time elapsed, as research progressed, more elements were discovered. So there was no place in Newland's table for new elements. In order to fit elements into the table, Newlands adjusted 2 elements in the same slot and also put some unlike elements under same note. For example, cobalt and nickel are in the same slot, and these are placed in the same column as fluorine and chlorine and bromine. which have very different properties than these elements. So here is a drawback. Cobalt and nickel are in the same category as that of fluorine and chlorine and bromine, but they have different properties. So how can you have different properties but same group? So that is a drawback. Iron, which resembles cobalt and nickel in properties, has been placed differently away from these elements. On the other hand, iron, which is similar to cobalt and nickel, is not placed in the same group. It is placed further away. So you have these two contrasting drawbacks of Newland's law. Then came the final, in a sense, final arrangement of elements proposed by Mendeleev. Mendeleev was a scientist. So Mendeleev's periodic law states that the properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic masses. Periodic means something that occurs on regular intervals. So periodic functions of their atomic masses. So after a certain atomic mass, the pattern repeats in the elements. So this is what we have. And this arrangement over here you see is a rough arrangement proposed by this scientist called Mendeleev. Mendeleev's periodic table. Mendeleev classified elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses and similarities in their properties. The formula of the oxides and hydrides formed by the elements was also the basis for the classification of elements. So it is like arranging some students height wise. So the shortest student is in the first and the tallest student is in the last. So Mendeleev did something of this sort. He categorized the elements in the increasing order of their atomic mass. So atomic mass number 1 is the beginning, and as the atomic mass increases, they appear in a sequence. Mendeleev's periodic table has 6 horizontal rows called periods. So the rows are called periods, and 8 rows called groups. 8 vertical rows should be vertical columns, and 8 vertical columns are called groups. So vertical columns are called groups and horizontal rows are called periods. So there are 6 horizontal rows and 8 vertical groups. The groups 1 to 7 had 2 subgroups called A subgroup and B subgroup. Group 8 to 8 had 3 rows of elements. Elements having similar properties were placed in the same groups. So a group, which is the vertical column, all the elements in the vertical column had the same similar properties. So let me just show you the image of periodic table. So you see over here, so here we have a periodic table. So in this periodic table, what we have, these vertical columns are called groups and these horizontal rows are called periods. So all the elements in a certain vertical column have similar properties. So over here you see this vertical group, all the elements in this vertical group have similar properties. All the elements in this vertical group have similar properties, and so on. So this is the arrangement which Mendeleev had done. Elements having similar properties were placed in same groups. There are some spaces left vacant in the table to accommodate the elements to be discovered in future. So there were some missing uh, elements which Mendeleev was careful enough to leave the place vacant for the element to be discovered in future. Merits of Mendeleev's table. So let us discuss the advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table. Elements were classified on a more fundamental basis of their atomic masses and properties. Spaces were left vacant to accommodate the elements to be discovered in future. It could predict the properties of the elements which helped in the discovery of new elements. The inert gas elements discovered later could be placed in the separate group without disturbing the table. So these are the 3-4 merits of Mendeleev's periodic table that we have. So vertical columns, all elements in the group have similar properties. Vacant spaces were placed for undiscovered elements, and so on. Defects of Mendeleev's periodic table. Some elements are not arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses. Cobalt is placed before nickel and Te is placed before iodine. So cobalt is placed before nickel. So cobalt is having more atomic mass than nickel, and yet it is placed before nickel. So in our example we just discussed about arranging all the students height wise. So you cannot have a taller student before the shorter student. So if that occurs at any place, then that will be a defect. So immediately the teacher rectifies the correction. So Mendeleev here, he did not know there is a correction. That is why there is a defect. So cobalt, which was having more atomic mass, was placed before nickel, and we have one more pair, Te and iodine. Position of hydrogen is not clear because it shows properties similar to metals as well as non-metals. So this was a dilemma with the hydrogen as to whether it should be categorized as a metal or a non-metal. The position of isotopes of elements is not clear. So this is another defect. What are isotopes will become clear as we discuss more on this topic. Modern periodic table. Henry Moseley gave a new property of elements, atomic number, and this was adopted as the basis of modern periodic table. So till for Mendeleev, there was no concept of atomic number. So nothing about atomic number was talked about and known. Then came a scientist later at some point in time. There came a scientist called Henry Moseley, and he introduced the concept of atomic number. And based on this atomic number, the elements were rearranged, and this arrangement gave us the final arrangement of elements called the modern periodic table. So what we discuss now to this date is modern periodic table. So what is the basis of modern periodic table is written here in yellow. Modern periodic law. Properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic number. So this is a modification, small modification in the Mendeleev's law. What Mendeleev proposed as a law. So properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic number. Mendeleev said it is atomic mass. Modern periodic law tells it is atomic number. Position of elements in modern periodic table. The modern periodic table consists of 18 groups and 7 periods. Elements present in any one group have the same number of valence electrons. Also, the number of shells increases as we go down the group. So, the number of valence electrons for all the elements corresponding to a certain group is the same. For example, over here, all these elements have 0 valence electrons. These are called noble gases or noble elements, inert elements. And all the elements in this group have valence electron is equal to 1. So all these elements in this group are called halides. And all these elements have one valence electron, that is to say they need one electron to complete the shell, so on and so forth. So valency of all elements pertaining to a certain group is the same for a certain group. Elements present in any one period contain the same number of shells, also with increase in atomic number by 1 unit on moving from left to right. The valence shell electron increases by 1 unit. That is to say, as you move on from left to right, the number of electrons increases. You see here it is 20, then it is 21, it is 22. So the atomic number increases from left to right in a period, and so does the valence shell electron increases by 1 unit as well. Each period marks a new electronic shell getting filled. So electronic shell is something related to, you must have heard in your lower standards, that atom has a nucleus. This is a nucleus, and there are orbits, first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, and so on. So shells are similar to orbits. So this is what we have. So a modern periodic table in this manner is an arrangement of elements made on a certain basis, and this basis is written over here, which is called modern periodic law. Properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic number. So this is the law. So let us discuss a few questions as an evaluation. How many elements are there in the periodic table? One 114 we had just discussed in the beginning. There are 114 elements known so far. What are noble elements? We just discussed. Noble elements are the elements which have completely filled shells, so the valency is 0. They do not need more electrons, and hence they are stable. They don't form molecules. And these are questions for homework. What are halides and what are groups and periods? So I hope this class was helpful, and I thank you for watching.